Hello, just had an email come in. Hello Brandon, I recently found your YouTube channel and videos and subscribed. I have a question I was hoping I could run by you. I have a 98 low John boat with a 96 50 horsepower Evinrude. The motor has a tilt switch on the lower housing, and the OMC throttle control also has the red thumb tilt switch. My question is it possible to add a third switch to the system in order to control the tilt while trolling or fishing up front in the bow? If so, are there any how-tos available? Thank you very much, Rich. First and foremost, yes you can, and pretty easily too. Let's stroll on over to my boat for an example. I'll show everybody what he's talking about. We have a switch here on the motor. Handy thing to have there. When putting it on and off the trailer, that is pretty nice, especially when you use one of these transom saver things. Anyway, so he's got a switch there, and then let's walk over here to the controller. We have a controller, trim switch on the side. His is red, so it's got the original switch. But yeah, and then he wants to add one up front. Now, you have a 96, I think you said? Yeah. Controller, so yours is going to be a little different, but anywho, here's your controller you would have with your red switch. Coming off the handle, you have this little wire loom. This little wire loom on the end of it, and you're going to have a plug. Now, this being an older one has this flat 3-prong. Yours, being newer, is probably, or should, have one of these triangle-looking 3-prongs. Well, the seal came off, but you probably have a plug that looks like this. Yours is probably going to be gray, not black, but that's what it's going to look like. And what you want to do is run wiring all the way up here and put a trim switch about there somewhere. As you can see, this boat should have had one, but it doesn't for whatever reason. I suppose ideally somebody would make some kind of kit that would have like a little Y splitter off these 3 prongs and give you a whole bunch of wire to run to the front to do just this. Cost and ease, you're probably not going to want to do that. What you're probably going to want to do is not on the controller side, but on the boat harness side, strip off some insulation and do a little splice onto these 3 wires. Anyway, so we have 3 wires on this plug. Again, yours is going to be a triangle looking thing. Red, green, and blue. It's actually red with white stripe, green with white stripe, blue with white stripe, but red, green, and blue works just fine. So basically how this works is when red and green are connected, the engine's going to go down or to the ground, such as green, the color of grass. Or if red and blue are connected, blue being the color of sky, the motor will go up. So that's how that works. So what you're going to do is not on the plug side, but on the other end, because you don't want to hurt the controller wiring or switch wiring, although it doesn't matter. You're going to want to cut and splice into those wires and then run 3 more up, red, blue, and green. Now once you get the wiring up front, you're going to want some kind of switch bezel. It doesn't need to be anything fancy. It can be a piece of wood with a hole in it, or it can just be a hole drilled into the boat. You know, it doesn't really matter. You can find some of these older tilt switch bezels, such as what I have here on my gantry hoist, and that one works fine. You're going to need the switch, and that's going to be where the challenges start. Now, you could get creative here on your switches. Like this would be one of the motor trim cowl switches. You know, standard up and down. You got your 3 wires, again, red, green, and blue. So you could just, you know, put a hole in your boat somewhere for whatever size that is, 1/2 inch, and then screw that on. That's one option to do it. That's an OEM way to do it. And we have some more OEM options here which might look a little better, such as, well, this one. It's 34 plus shipping, 40 bucks, but you get the actual factory switch and a little trim bezel, as you can see there. So you may like that option. Then you can buy one of these older ones. Again, you're getting the bezel. I don't know if you're going to want that switch. It looks like it's kind of soldered together, and all this wiring is nearly useless for what you're doing. Really what you would want would be that bezel and that switch, but for 40 some odd dollars, I would probably skip on that one. Then you have another sync system, which you don't need that either. It's whole bunch of wires on the back, but it's another bezel and switch option. And then here is just the bezel by itself that you can put any old switch into for $10. So yeah, that is the basics of how you're going to do it. I would tap into the controller, add your 3 wires to the front of the boat, add a switch. That is the basics of what you're trying to do. Now let's get a little more into the engineering. You don't need to use a factory switch. You may want to find an aftermarket switch or not an Evinrude switch and use one of their bezels to make everything, you know, look halfway decent. So if you want to use a, you know, off-the-shelf type switch, you're going to want to use a single pole, double throw, momentary switch. Now you want it fixed in the middle, momentary up, momentary down, which would be an on, off, on switch. The parentheses in the switch manufacturing indicate momentary, so it won't lock into that position. You don't want, you know, an on, off, on. No parentheses, no momentary action. You don't want that. So that's what you want. Single pole, double throw, on, off, on switch. You're not going to want a solder lug or a panel mount. You're going to want to get one with the 1/4-inch mounting tabs. Let me go see if I have one. So once we have, this isn't really a switch. This is an on-off. You don't want this, but good demo. Once you have the switch and some wiring, you're going to need your 1/4-inch terminals. You can pick these up at the Home Depot or electrical supplier, wherever you're buying that switch. They're common. Your red is going to go in the middle. I think your green is going to go on top. I could be wrong on this one, but you get the idea. Green on top, blue on the bottom. Those get spliced into your controller harness, and there is your external trim and tilt switch. Pretty easy. Now you could get fancy, you know, put some heat shrink wiring over the ends, but that's basically it. Now the switch you would want to use here, the factory used a Carling switch, which they don't quite make, but they do make another version of it still, so it's the same manufacturer, just different part number. That would be the 6FC53 with tabs. That's the part number for the switch you would want, but again, you could use anything as long as it's a single pole double throw, on, off, on being in parentheses. So momentary switch. So yeah, switch, some wiring, some terminals, and some splicing, maybe a bezel, and you're home free. I wouldn't use any wiring from your local hardware store, what they would call the primary hookup wiring. The insulation on that stuff is absolutely horrible, and it's not really made for, I don't know what it's made for, but it sucks in a car. It's not going to be any better in a boat or anything outdoors. I wouldn't use that stuff for anything. I'll put a link to a guy on eBay that sells custom quality wiring. You can pick up some of that. I don't know if I would go marine grade. You're not building a cruise ship here. You don't need a self-extinguishing wire. So I wouldn't go with the expense of that. Well, anyway, that should get you started. I'll put links below for all the things I've shown, just so you can see what I'm talking about, I guess, or click away or whatever. If you get any more questions, let me know. See you later. Oops, sorry, got the part number wrong. You actually want a 6FC53-73/tabs. I guess I should look at part numbers before making videos.